Denji dreams of being in a dark alley. He finds a door and reaches out to it, but then wakes up. He decides to go to work for the Yakuza. On his way, he thinks about how much money he made by cutting trees and selling his kidney, eye, and one of his testicles, but he still owes a lot of money. Pochita, his pet devil, barks, and Denji realizes there's another devil nearby. He's excited because killing a devil could earn him a good amount of money. Denji finds the tomato devil and kills it with Pochita, who becomes a chainsaw. The old man who hired him says he will pay Denji 400,000 yen, more than Denji expected. But after the fees and interest are taken out, Denji gets only 70,000 yen. After paying his bills and debts, Denji is left with just 1,800 yen. The old man's driver wonders why he hired someone like Denji. The old man explains that Denji is paying back his father's debt. The real devil hunters don't give them devil carcasses, but Denji does. The driver offers Denji 100 yen to eat a cigarette. Denji accepts and eats it, but spits it out once they leave. While eating bread at home, Denji tells Pochita that he heard people put jam on bread, but he can only dream of that. He thinks he'll die before paying off the debt and never get a girlfriend. He remembers standing in front of his father's grave while the old man complained that Denji's father killed himself without paying his debt. The old man tells Denji to gather 700,000 yen by tomorrow or he'll chop him up. As the old man leaves, Denji sees a devil with a chainsaw. Since he already feels dead, he's okay with being killed by it. But when he sees the devil is bleeding, he offers to bite him and drink his blood. As Pochita bites him, Denji says that Pochita also needs to help him. The next day, Denji kills the marshmallow devil and gives it to the old man. Denji asks the man to hire him as a devil hunter. Hungry and unable to sleep, Denji dreams of having bread with jam, flirting with a girl, playing games with her, and falling asleep while hugging her. Denji coughs up blood and tells Pochita that his mother had heart disease that made her cough blood. The old man comes to pick Denji up for some devil hunting work. The old man takes Denji to an abandoned factory. They go inside, but Denji doesn't see any devil. The old man says he's grateful for Denji's loyalty and cheap work, but he can't stand the dog smell. Then, a man with a sword suddenly stabs Denji and Pochita from behind. The man explains that the Yakuza wanted more power, so they made a deal with the devil. The devil wanted dead devil hunters. The zombie devil then appears, saying the Yakuza are foolish for becoming his slaves for just a little power. The zombie devil orders his zombie army to kill Denji. Denji, badly hurt, tries to run but the zombies catch him, stabbing and chopping him into pieces. Denji is thrown into a dumpster, his body cut into pieces, with Pochita beside him. Some of Denji's blood gets into Pochita's mouth, and Pochita wakes up. Pochita remembers the times he spent with Denji, like cutting trees together. Denji talks to Pochita, saying that if he dies fighting a devil, he regrets leaving Pochita alone, hungry, and possibly killed by other devil hunters. He also remembers hearing that some devils can take over dead bodies. Denji tells Pochita to take his body if that's something he can do, so Denji can live a normal life and die a normal death. Inside the dumpster, Pochita merges with Denji, fixing his chopped-up body. Denji wakes up, surprised to see Pochita's tail coming out of his chest. The zombie devil, shocked that Denji is alive, tells the zombies to eat him. Denji wonders if he's becoming like the Yakuza, always wanting more and not being happy with what he had. But if the Yakuza are in his way, he'll kill them. Denji pulls a cord from his chest as the zombies jump on him. A moment later, Denji transforms, his arms and head turning into chainsaws. He cuts through the zombies and jumps on the zombie devil, attacking him. The zombie devil pushes him away and throws more zombies at him. Denji keeps cutting down the zombies and finally slices the zombie devil in half. Looking at the remaining zombies, Denji realizes they had become devils, and he was hired to kill devils. He finishes off the zombies, saying that once he does, he won't owe anyone anything. Early the next morning, a car pulls up to the abandoned factory. Makima and two men enter and see the mess inside. She finds Denji and approaches him. Noticing he smells strange, not fully human or devil, she guesses Denji did all this. Denji asks her to hug him, and she does. As they hug, Denji returns to his normal self. Makima says he is human and not possessed. She explains she came to kill the zombie devil and that she works as a devil hunter for public safety. Makima offers Denji two choices: either die as a devil or stay alive as a human. She promises that if he chooses to stay with her, she will make sure he's fed. Denji asks what he'll get for breakfast if he agrees, and Makima tells him he'll get bread with butter and jam, salad, coffee, and maybe some dessert. Denji thinks it sounds amazing and agrees. Denji is in the car with Makima, feeling hungry as his stomach growls. Makima tells him he's under her care now and that he should answer her questions with yes or woof, like a dog, which makes Denji feel a bit scared. He remembers his pet devil, Pochita, and gets hungrier. Makima decides to stop at a rest area for food and offers to pay. She even gives Denji his coat since he's shirtless. Denji feels happy because no one has ever treated him this kindly before, and he starts to think he might love Makima. At the rest area, Denji orders food, feeling weak because he lost blood. He collapses on Makima and explains that his pet devil replaced his heart. Makima believes him, saying she can smell both human and devil on him. Denji is excited but weak again. When he wakes up, the food is ready, and Makima feeds him, even though the food is soggy. Denji asks Makima about her preferences, and she says she likes Denji-type guys, which makes him feel even more special. Later, they reach Tokyo, and Denji is still thinking about her words. He tells Makima he likes her too, and she takes him to the Devil Hunter headquarters. There, Denji is introduced to Aki, who will be his partner for the day. Denji is disappointed he won't be working with Makima, but is told that if he does a good job, maybe one day he will. While on patrol, Denji asks about Makima's relationships, but Aki gets angry and punches him, telling him that people who join devil hunting for the wrong reasons don't survive long. Aki believes Denji took the job for Makima, and Denji admits he did. Later, Denji kicks Aki and talks about how, for the first time, he feels treated like a human. He may not have thought about the job carefully, but he doesn't mind dying if it means living like this. Aki warns him about his feelings for Makima, but Denji jokes that Aki might like her too. After the patrol, they return to Makima, and Denji jokingly tells her that Aki's groin was attacked by the nut devil. Makima decides that Denji will join Aki's team, even though Aki doesn't want another troublemaker. She explains that Denji is special and will receive special treatment, but if he doesn't cooperate, he'll be treated like a devil. Aki warns Denji that he'll be living with him and will be watched carefully, but Denji starts wondering if Makima is a good person, and Aki assures him that she saved his life. In the morning, Denji makes breakfast at Aki's place, using various jams, but making a complete mess in the kitchen. He continues to live carelessly, which annoys Aki. One day, they go on a mission to hunt a fiend, a devil that has taken control of a human corpse. Denji doesn't know what a fiend is, so Aki explains it to him. As they enter a building where the fiend is hiding, Aki tells Denji to transform and use his devil powers to kill the fiend. Denji beheads the fiend with an axe instead, explaining he didn't want to make it messy or painful. Aki gets frustrated, saying Denji shouldn't be so sympathetic toward devils, especially since his family was killed by a devil. Denji, on the other hand, says that if there's a devil he can be friends with, he would, as he doesn't have any friends. Denji later admits to himself that he didn't want to get blood on the porn magazines he was reading, but he also realizes his dream of having a better life might be incomplete. His new goal is to touch a woman's chest, thinking that maybe now it could be possible. Makima then tells Denji that he'll be getting a new partner. She introduces him to Power, a fiend who will be working with him. Denji is surprised, but after noticing Power's chest, feels happy to have her as a partner. Makima explains that fiends can still be part of the team, but Power needs to be useful. She also warns them that if the experimental team fails, they could be in serious trouble. Denji and Power head out on patrol, but Power, who is starved for blood, becomes annoying and slaps Denji. They have no luck finding devils, and Denji starts realizing that Aki might have set him up to fail. But when they finally find a devil, Power jumps into action. She uses her blood to form a hammer and kills the sea cucumber devil in a messy, bloody scene. She's thrilled and laughs maniacally at her success. After Power creates chaos by killing the sea cucumber devil, a cleanup team arrives to handle the mess. Makima steps in and explains the consequences of Power's reckless behavior, saying she could be arrested for interfering with a civilian devil hunter's job. She also scolds Denji for not keeping Power under control. Makima comments that while Power is skilled with her blood manipulation, her impulsive nature makes her unsuitable for devil hunting. Power, trying to deflect blame, lies and says Denji forced her to act. The two start bickering, but they immediately quiet down when Makima tells them to stop. She emphasizes the importance of teamwork, and Power reluctantly agrees to cooperate. Later, as Denji buys a drink, Power notices a cat and starts petting it. She reveals her soft spot for cats and explains her hatred for both humans and devils, blaming a devil for taking her pet cat, Meowie. Despite believing Meowie might be dead, she's determined to save her. Power doubts Denji can understand her attachment to a cat. Denji dismisses her concern, saying he'd only go that far for a dog, but when Power offers to let him touch her chest if he helps her rescue Meowie, he eagerly agrees. Fired up, Denji vows to defeat the devil that took Meowie. With approval from the Public Safety Division, Denji and Power set off to confront the devil. On the way, Power reveals the devil's location and warns Denji that he'll have to fight alone, as the devil might use Meowie as a shield. Denji shares a memory of his pet Pochita, who is now a part of him. Power mocks his sentiment, calling it a hollow comfort. Though annoyed, Denji decides to let it go, realizing they will never see eye to eye. Meanwhile, Makima meets with higher-ups who discuss the use of devils in other countries' militaries and Japan's focus on battling devils. They inquire about Makima's team, and she describes one member as promising and another as interesting. They caution her not to get emotionally attached, as her role is to train and deploy her team effectively. In a car ride afterward, Aki voices his skepticism about Denji, calling him unremarkable and questioning why Makima is so interested in him. Makima explains that a devil's power depends on the fear associated with its name. Something mundane like a coffee devil would be weak, while a car devil would be much stronger due to the fear of being hit by a car. She finds Denji intriguing because he can transform into the Chainsaw Devil, a concept with potential for both fear and power. Aki remains unconvinced, noting that while most devil hunters are motivated by serious goals, Denji seems more focused on living an easy life and even wanting to befriend devils. Power and Denji travel to the outskirts of the city, where Power points to a house, claiming the devil who took her cat, Meowie, is inside. As they approach, Denji thinks about the devil using the cat as a shield, but before he can act, Power suddenly knocks him unconscious with a hammer made of blood. She drags him inside and hands him over to the Bat Devil, who demands human blood to heal his injuries. However, when the Bat Devil tastes Denji's blood, he finds it disgusting and throws him away. After regenerating his arm, the Bat Devil decides to head to the city to eat more humans, ignoring Power's request to release Meowie. Instead, he swallows the cat and Power too, leaving Denji furious. Power reflects on her bond with Meowie, recalling how she cared for the starving cat in the wild, only for the Bat Devil to take it away and demand a human sacrifice in exchange. As the Bat Devil flies toward the city, planning his next meal, Denji clings to his leg, determined to stop him. Remembering how relieved he felt finding his pet Pochita safe once, Denji empathizes with Power's pain and activates his chainsaw powers. Denji fights the Bat Devil in a chaotic battle that damages nearby buildings. Despite the Bat Devil's powerful shockwaves and attempts to harm others, Denji relentlessly fights back. When the Bat Devil throws a car at him, Denji hurls it back, hitting his opponent. In a final, intense clash, Denji defeats the Bat Devil by cutting him apart with his chainsaws, ending the threat and avenging Meowie and Power. Power, who usually lived in the forest killing animals and drinking their blood, started to care for a little cat named Meowie. She didn't understand why she cared so much since she loved blood more than anything. But when the Bat Devil kidnapped Meowie and demanded a human in exchange, Power went to the city to save her. She wondered if it was foolish, but she couldn't ignore how warm and comforting Meowie had made her feel. After Denji defeated the Bat Devil, Power woke up holding Meowie. She was confused why Denji, someone she tried to hurt, save her. Before they could talk more, another devil appeared. The leech devil, angry about the bat devil's death. Denji tried to fight, even though he barely had any strength left. Power was too weak to help and told him to run away with Meowie, but Denji refused to leave. Even though his chainsaw powers were weak, Denji gave it his all, cutting and punching the leech devil. He shouted about his dream, saying it mattered just as much as anyone else's, no matter how small it seemed. The fight was wild, and Denji got hurt badly. Just as the leech devil was about to eat him, Aki arrived with the fox devil. The fox devil quickly defeated the leech devil by eating her head. With the danger gone, Aki made sure the area was safe and helped with the rescue. Though the fight was over, Denji's determination left a strong impression, even on those who doubted him. Denji wakes up in the hospital after his fight. Aki tells him that his arm was reattached with a blood infusion. Aki explains that devil hunters make deals with devils to use their powers, trading parts of their body. For the fox devil's help, Aki gave some skin. Aki then asks why Denji protected Power, even though she tried to kill him. Denji pretends not to know. Aki warns that covering for Power could get both of them in trouble, but he decides to let it go this time if Denji agrees to follow his rules. Denji agrees while happily eating some apples. Later, Aki goes to Makima and reports what happened. He explains how Denji killed the Bat Devil, and Division 4 defeated the Leech Devil. There were no fatalities, but they didn't find any gun devil parts. Makima accepts his report, but notices Aki seems more relaxed than usual. Aki denies this, but it's clear that Denji's carefree attitude might be rubbing off on him. The next morning, Aki starts his peaceful routine, making coffee and doing chores. But his calm day is ruined when Power kicks down the door and announces she's moving in. Makima calls to confirm it, saying Power promised to behave. However, Power quickly causes trouble. At lunch, she throws away her vegetables, refuses to flush the toilet, and says she doesn't like bathing. Aki and Denji are annoyed, but Power doesn't care. Later, while Denji is fixing the clogged toilet, Power suddenly offers to let him touch her chest. She says it's her way of keeping her promise for him, saving Meowie, defeating the Bat Devil, and protecting her from Aki. Denji is thrilled and thinks she's amazing, even though her chaotic behavior is driving him and Aki crazy. Power lets Denji touch her, but it doesn't feel as exciting as he imagined. She reveals she uses pads to make her chest look bigger and leaves after boasting about the experience. Denji is left confused, wondering why something he wanted so badly felt so ordinary. The next day, Denji feels distracted and unmotivated while patrolling with Power. Even at the office, he seems down. Makima notices and asks what's wrong. Denji admits that reaching his dream didn't feel as great as he expected. He wonders if the journey is more exciting than actually achieving the goal. Makima reassures him, explaining that experiences feel better when there's a deeper connection. She shows him how paying attention to small details about someone can make moments more meaningful, leaving Denji surprised and thoughtful. Then Makima asks Denji to help defeat the Gun Devil, a powerful and dangerous devil that appeared 13 years ago after a rise in gun-related fear. During that time, a massive terrorist attack caused chaos, and the Gun Devil killed over 1 million people in just 5 minutes before disappearing. The fear of guns grew stronger, making devils even more powerful. To control this fear, laws were made to limit guns and stop gun-related news. Makima explains how finding pieces of the Gun Devil's flesh can help track it. These pieces attract each other and, when combined, lead back to the Gun Devil's body. Denji becomes excited about the challenge, especially when Makima promises to grant him any wish if he succeeds. Meanwhile, Aki finds a piece of the Gun Devil's flesh after defeating another devil, bringing them one step closer to their goal. The public safety team receives a mission to investigate a devil sighting at Hotel Morin. Several civilian devil hunters have already died trying to defeat it, and there's a chance this devil has eaten a piece of the Gun Devil. Aki confirms this when his Gun Devil fragment reacts to the presence of another piece inside the hotel. Denji, Power, and 4 other hunters, including Aki, Himino, Hirokazu, and Kobeni enter the hotel to deal with the devil. The group dynamics are lively and tense. Hirokazu doesn't trust Power and Denji, while Aki assures him they'll handle the devils and can be dealt with if they flee. Himino lightens the mood by offering a kiss as a reward to whoever kills the devil, making Denji highly motivated to rush in first. However, Hirokazu gets jealous and follows, claiming Himino has been supporting him and he deserves the kiss more. Their argument escalates, joined by Power and Kobeni, while Aki and Himino observe the chaos. Himino remarks on the strengths and weaknesses of the newer members, expressing concern about their chances of survival in the long term. As they search the hotel, they encounter a bizarre devil, a floating head with a hand and a foot. It lunges at Kobeni but freezes midair, allowing Power to cut it in half with her blood sword. Himino reveals that the devil's freeze was her doing, thanks to a contract with the ghost devil, which cost her right eye but grants her control over its hand. Despite the victory, the devil isn't the one they're looking for, so the team continues. The tension rises when they notice something strange. Hirokazu discovers a bloodstain identical to one they saw earlier, realizing they're stuck on the 8th floor. No matter how much they move, they can't seem to escape. The unsettling discovery hints at a trap set by the devil, leaving the team confused and on edge as they try to figure out their next move. The devil hunters realize something strange is happening. Hirokazu goes downstairs, but somehow appears upstairs again. Himino tries going down, but ends up back upstairs too. Aki explores the rooms and finds that the windows don't lead outside, but to the opposite rooms instead. He steps through a door and ends up right back where he started. Denji checks and confirms the same thing. They're trapped on the 8th floor. They try everything to escape, but fail. The stairs, windows, and even the ceiling all lead back to the same floor. Denji blames Power for possibly causing this by killing the head demon earlier, but Aki explains that it doesn't make sense as a dead devil's powers disappear. They conclude it's a devil's trick. Kobeni panics and cries, sharing how she was forced into this job to support her family. Power, as usual, laughs at her misery. Aki notices that all the clocks stopped at 8:18. He guesses time is frozen, and no one will come to rescue them. Denji, surprisingly relaxed, decides to nap, saying they should wake him up when they figure out a way out. Later, Himino wakes Denji. While he slept, they learned that water and electricity are still working, and they found some leftover food. Aki keeps searching for the devil, but Hirokazu is too scared to help and locks himself in a room. Kobeni loses her mind and even tries to drink from the toilet, forcing Himino to knock her out. Meanwhile, Power amuses herself by imagining she'll win a Nobel Prize, become a god, and raise taxes to 100%. Her wild ideas make Himino laugh, easing some of her tension. As they wait, Himino smokes her last cigarette. Denji notices it's the same brand as Aki's, and Himino explains she taught him to smoke. She remembers how Aki initially avoided smoking, calling it unhealthy, but she guessed he became a devil hunter to avenge his family against the gun devil. Later, Aki defended her when a grieving teammate's family member slapped her, even sticking gum in the woman's hair as payback. It made Himino laugh and brought them closer as teammates. Back on the 8th floor, Aki asks Himino for her last cigarette, and she gives it to him. Just as the group tries to relax, Aki brings bad news. The devil they killed isn't gone. It's growing bigger and more dangerous. The group hears a strange sound in the hallway and steps out to see a terrifying sight. A giant blob of flesh covered with eyes, arms, and other body parts. The devil speaks to them, calling them foolish humans. It demands a contract. If they let it eat Denji, dead or alive, it will let the others leave safely. Kobeni, panicked and holding a knife, yells at Denji to sacrifice himself. She charges at him, but Aki quickly disarms her, and Himino knocks her unconscious. Aki tries to summon the fox devil, but it doesn't work, as the area is sealed off from the outside world. Himino uses her ghost devil, which attacks the blob, but only causes it pain without stopping it. The devil grows even larger and reveals this is only its stomach, not its real body. It demands a contract again, Denji suspects the devil will betray them even with the contract, but Himino explains that devils are bound to keep their promises, and breaking a contract would kill the violator. Hirokazu suggests they kill Denji to survive, but Aki refuses, reasoning that the devil's demand must benefit it somehow. Himino also refuses, but Power, uninterested in their survival, says she doesn't mind killing Denji since she can't achieve her dream of winning a Nobel Prize if they're stuck. Aki points out that Power, as a fiend, can't make contracts, so killing Denji would still leave them trapped. As time passes, Aki mentions using his sword as a last resort, but Himino stops him, explaining that his sword shortens his life when used. She would rather kill Denji than let Aki risk his life. Meanwhile, the group discovers all the food is gone and Power is caught chewing. She blames Denji, but everyone knows she's lying. Kobeni, growing more hysterical, accuses Power of being the reason they're trapped and even accuses Hirokazu of being a spy. The Eternity Devil grows larger and starts chasing Aki, Himino, and Denji. It reveals its name and taunts them, saying it grows stronger from their fear. As the hallway tilts, Hirokazu and Kobeni scream for Aki and Himino to kill Denji. Aki decides to use his sword, but Himino stops him with her ghost devil, refusing to let him shorten his life. Suddenly, Kobeni tries to stab Denji, but Aki blocks the attack, taking the knife himself. Aki, bleeding heavily, explains he doesn't care about Denji personally, but knows they need him to fight the gun devil. Denji is furious that Aki would go this far to save him. Power tries to stop Aki's bleeding but struggles, as controlling someone else's blood is difficult. Seeing Aki's condition, Himino starts to panic, and Kobeni blames everything on Denji, saying this could have been avoided if he had just let the devil eat him. Frustrated and determined, Denji decides to fight. He tells the group he'll let the devil eat him, but he won't go down without a fight. Denji suspects the devil is afraid of the chainsaw devil inside him, which is why it's so desperate to kill him. Pulling his ripcord, Denji transforms into the Chainsaw Man and leaps into the hallway to take on the Eternity Devil. Denji pulls his cord and charges at the Eternity Devil, slicing through it with his chainsaw, but also getting hurt in the process. The devil laughs, saying it doesn't matter since its heart isn't there. Power warns Denji that if he keeps losing blood, his chainsaw will stop working. The devil mocks him, saying his attacks are getting weaker, but Denji bites into the devil and drinks its blood. Even though the blood tastes bad, Denji enjoys seeing the devil in pain. Watching Denji fight, Himino remembers a conversation with Kishibe. He told her that devils are afraid of devil hunters who are a bit crazy. People who are too normal end up dying because they fear the devils, and that fear makes the devil stronger. Himino wonders if Aki is too normal, which could get him killed if he keeps chasing the gun devil. Later, Himino talks to Aki about leaving the dangerous life of devil hunting and becoming civilian devil hunters. She got an offer to live more peacefully, but Aki refuses. He's not ready to give up fighting. Himino believes Aki's calm nature might get him killed one day if he keeps fighting the gun devil. The fight with the Eternity Devil drags on. Denji gets knocked down, but he keeps getting back up, shouting that he has a new idea. He realizes that if he keeps cutting the devil and drinking its blood, it's like a never-ending cycle. Himino starts to think that Denji's craziness might be the key to defeating the gun devil. After 3 days of fighting, the Eternity Devil finally gives up, revealing that its heart is the weak spot. Denji, surprised the fight is nearly over, cuts through the devil's heart and kills it. The group leaves the hotel, with Denji holding a piece of the gun devil. He's so exhausted that he falls asleep, and Himino catches him. She says they need to take Aki and Denji to the hospital and have Kobeni and Hirokazu report back. Later, Himino talks to Aki about throwing a welcome party for the team. She wants everyone to bond, especially since Kobeni and Hirokazu seem scared after what happened with Denji. Aki agrees, but only if the party happens this week, because Makima will be gone next week for a work trip. Himino starts wondering why Makima is so interested in Denji. She thinks Makima might know something about Denji's secret. Division 4 gets together at a bar for drinks. Aki notices that Fushir didn't bring his fiend, and Fushir explains that his fiend isn't as sensible as Power. Kobeni arrives a little late, and Makima says she will come later. Denji remembers that Himino promised him a kiss, and that she'll give it to him when she's a bit drunk. The new members introduce themselves. Denji is 16 and loves eating and sleeping, while Hirokazu is 22, has a contract with the Fox Devil, and likes writing haikus. Denji notes that Hirokazu has the same devil contract as Aki, and Aki explains that the Fox Devil is friendly with humans. Himino jokes that only good-looking people can use the Fox Devil's head. Kobeni, who is 20, keeps her devil contract a secret and also loves eating tasty food. Fushir says that his previous newbie died recently, and they talk about how devils too dangerous for regular hunters are passed to public safety. Himino jokingly says that Denji won't die because he's waiting for her kiss. Another member mentions that Himino has kissed everyone except the new guys, so Denji is excited that he will get one too. Makima shows up and overhears Denji, asking if he plans to kiss anyone. Denji denies it, and Himino asks if he doesn't want her kiss anymore. Denji says he does, but he's worried about Makima seeing it. He changes the topic and tells Makima that he found a piece of the gun devil, but she already knew. Aki mentions that there are more devils with pieces of the gun devil, and one even targeted Denji. Aki asks Makima if she knows anything about Denji. Makima says she'll tell him if he can outdrink her, so Himino joins in, and the three of them start drinking. Power impresses a member by saying she controls her violent urges because of her high IQ. The member asks how high, and Power says it's 100 at first, then quickly changes it to 120. Fushir reveals his IQ is 134. Power jokingly says hers is 500 or even 1,000. Meanwhile, Himino starts kissing Denji. At first, Denji enjoys it, but then he realizes that Himino is throwing up in his mouth. Everyone laughs, and Power jokes that Denji will swallow anything with nutrition in it. Denji ends up swallowing the vomit and remembers his younger days when he would eat food he found in trash cans. He laughs, thinking how embarrassing it is that rats eat drunk people's vomit. Later, Denji is in the bathroom, throwing up, probably from Himino's vomit. Hirokazu helps him and explains that he's good at helping because his mom gets drunk often. He says he's jealous of Denji because he thinks Denji is a good devil hunter, something Hirokazu feels he lacks. Denji reassures him that there's nothing special about him, especially since his first kiss was throwing up. After the party, Himino helps Denji home because he's too drunk to walk. He wakes up feeling sick and thirsty. Himino gives him beer from her mouth, and Denji feels dizzy. Himino wonders if she brought him here and guesses that Denji likes Makima. She's upset that both Denji and Aki like her. She lies down next to him and suggests they should do something. Denji is confused, but soon realizes she means having sex. While Himino tries to undress him, she finds a Chupa Chups in Denji's pocket. This reminds Denji of a moment with Makima earlier when she gave him medicine for nausea and offered him the same Chupa Chups to help him forget the taste of vomit. Denji feels bad that he can't save his first time for Makima, but he lets it go. Himino eventually falls asleep while Denji lies on the floor, looking at the Chupa Chups and thinking about Pochita. The next morning, Himino wakes Denji up for breakfast. She doesn't remember much from last night, and asks if she did anything to him. Denji tells her he won't do anything with someone who made him vomit, and that he's saving his first time for Makima. Himino is relieved, because she could have gotten in trouble for being with a minor. She also thinks it's strange that Denji stayed when most people would have left, but Denji says he stayed because there's free food. Himino then wonders if Denji would still love Makima if she had a bad personality, and Denji says he would. Himino offers to help Denji get closer to Makima if he helps her get closer to Aki. Denji agrees, and they become friends. Himino also invites Denji to join her, Aki, and Power for breakfast, though Denji wonders if Makima will come too. Meanwhile, Makima is on a train to Kyoto to meet her bosses. She doesn't want to meet them because they seem scary, and she's more interested in buying a lunchbox. Just before Kyoto, the train enters a tunnel, and two men sitting near Makima pull out guns and shoot her and her assistant. The men then make a call, saying the operation can begin. In Tokyo, Division 4 members are spread out on different missions when they are suddenly ambushed. Denji, Himino, Aki, and Power are having ramen when Denji hears gunshots. Power dismisses them as just drums. A man sitting nearby criticizes Denji for eating bad ramen. Denji says it tastes fine to him, but the man insists Denji can't judge food since he only ate the same thing growing up. The man talks about his grandpa, a kind yakuza who used to take him to fancy restaurants, but also killed some women and children. He shows a photo of his grandpa, the yakuza who hired Denji, and then explains that the gun devil wants Denji's heart. The man pulls out a gun and shoots Denji in the head. He then tries to shoot the others, but Power punches him, and Aki summons the fox devil to eat the man. However, the man cuts his way out of the fox devil's head and transforms into a being like Denji, but with swords instead of chainsaws. Aki draws his sword, telling Power to stop Himino's bleeding. Power is surprised to see that Aki's sword is actually a large nail. The katana man gets up, and Aki strikes him with his sword. A devil counts down, saying 3, as Aki hits him again and again, with the devil saying 2 and 1. The katana man kicks Aki away, but Aki asks the cursed devil to kill him. The cursed devil appears, says 0, grabs the man, and kills him. Aki checks on Himino, who is badly hurt and needs to go to the hospital. He wonders how the man had a gun, since only police officers and devil hunters can have them. Before Aki can focus on Himino, a woman appears, recognizing Aki's power with the cursed devil. She revives Katana Man, telling him to kill Aki. Katana Man quickly attacks Aki, and though Aki falls, he's still alive. The woman tells him to finish the job. Himino asks Power to help Aki, but Power can't even see Katana Man's moves. Himino calls on the ghost devil, but the devil warns her that the woman is too strong. Himino, knowing she might die, offers her whole self to the ghost devil if it can defeat the enemy. The ghost devil agrees and appears fully. Battling Katana Man, Himino talks about how devil hunters get used to death, but Aki still cries when new members die. During the fight, Himino loses her arms, but the ghost devil overpowers Katana Man. Himino tells Aki not to die and hopes he'll cry for her when she's gone. Katana Man calls for help, and the woman summons the snake devil, which bites off the ghost devil's head. With the ghost devil defeated, Aki turns to see Himino, only to find that all that's left of her is her clothes. Akane uses the snake devil to defeat the ghost devil. Katana Man tells her that Power, the fiend, ran away, but Akane says their target is Chainsaw Man's heart, so they don't need to chase Power. Then, a hand from the ghost devil pulls Denji's cord, starting his chainsaw. Denji turns into Chainsaw Man and realizes they are the bad guys, which he likes because when he kills them, no one complains. He jumps into action, fighting Katana Man. Akane reports that they're fighting Chainsaw Man on the 3rd floor of the West Narima building and asks for backup. Katana Man and Denji seem evenly matched. 2 men arrive to help Katana Man, and he tells them to shoot at Denji's arms or heart. However, Denji knocks them down before they can shoot. One man manages to shoot at Denji, but Denji grabs him as a hostage, warning Katana Man to stop or he'll kill the man. Katana Man kneels and instantly cuts both Denji and the hostage in half. He then picks Denji up by his head handle and turns back to normal, saying his devil hunter friends should be dead by now since they can't win against guns. Meanwhile, Hirokazu Arai, Fushir, and other Division 4 members, including Makima, have been shot and killed. Makima's train is nearly at Kyoto, and the men who shot her prepare to disappear into the crowds. However, Makima suddenly stands up. At the Kyoto train station, Yutaro Kuroz and Michiko Tendo are waiting for the train. A man approaches them and tells them that Special Division 1, 2, 3, and 4 were ambushed in Tokyo. Yutaro and Michiko wonder about Makima and if they waited for nothing. The train arrives and people rush out scared. Makima steps out, covered in blood, and tells them she got under gunfire, but assures them it isn't her blood. Inside the train, her attackers are all dead. Yutaro and Michiko tell Makima about the Tokyo situation and wonder if she should go back, but Makima explains they won't make it in time and that the attackers are likely after Denji. She decides to handle things from Kyoto and asks Yutaro for 30 convicts serving life sentences or worse. Makima also asks Michiko to rent a shrine on the highest hill and get her some clean clothes. The convicts are gathered and given food while being transported. They wonder where they're going, but are told to be quiet. At the shrine, Makima changes into new clothes. Michiko tells her that the convicts are almost there, and soon they are dropped off at the bottom of the shrine stairs. Katana Man tells Akane that he can't fight for a while. Some of his team members are carrying Denji, but one of them sees a crow and feels something is wrong. Before anyone can react, the man is crushed to death. Akane immediately calls Team E to check if Makima is really dead, but before the team member can answer, he too is crushed to death. At the shrine, Makima is with Michiko, Yutaro, and some convicts, all wearing blindfolds. Yutaro asks why, and Michiko explains that Makima works with high-level officials and that regular devil hunters shouldn't know which devil she deals with. Makima tells one convict to say the name Shizo Mishima, and after he does, she uses hand signs that kill him and another convict. Katana Man orders Mishima to get Denji in the car, but as Makima finishes her hand signs, Mishima is killed. Makima moves on to another convict, tells him to say Takashi Inoue, and kills another member of Katana Man's team. The rest of the team starts running, but Makima kills them one by one. She leaves only Katana Man and Akane alive, then asks Michiko and Yutaro to remove their blindfolds. They see that all the convicts are dead. Makima says she's done all she can and is heading back to Tokyo. Akane guesses Makima is behind the killings. Katana Man and Akane then spot Kobeni in the distance. Earlier, a grandmother shot Hirokazu in the neck and then in the head with a bullet meant for Kobeni. Holding a knife and a radio, Kobeni mistakes them for the shooters. Akane uses the snake devil's tail to attack, but Kobeni dodges and runs on the tail. Katana Man shoots at her, but Kobeni cuts off his arm, takes his gun, and shoots him. Akane grabs a gun, but Kobeni picks up Denji and uses him as a shield. Akane pulls Katana Man into a van, and they drive away. Holding Denji, Kobeni apologizes for trying to kill him earlier. She laughs and cries, remembering Hirokazu's death and how she killed the grandmother with a woman's own gun. She blames herself for Hirokazu's death and feels like her job is driving her crazy. She decides to quit and tells herself she will tell Himino when they meet. Makima, Michiko, and Yutaro arrive in Tokyo and meet Madoka at the station. Makima is relieved to see him alive and asks how many survived. Madoka explains that Special Divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4 were attacked, and almost everyone died. He tells her that all the divisions will merge into one, and now Tokyo Special Division 4 will be under Makima's control. Madoka gives her a resignation letter, explaining the situation was too dangerous, and he had no choice but to quit. Before she leaves, Madoka asks how much of this Makima had expected. She doesn't answer directly and thanks him for his service. Yutaro and Michiko say they are just advisors, not joining her division, and will return to Kyoto in a week. Makima expresses disappointment, saying it's a shame because Tokyo has many great restaurants. Aki wakes up in a hospital bed and sees Denji and Power sitting beside him, reading manga. Power notices Denji eating an apple and demands it from him, but Denji refuses, teasing her about running away earlier. They argue, but Aki asks about the others from Division 4. Denji tells him that Kobeni survived, and Madoka, the guy with glasses, quit. Denji explains that Makima has called for them, and they'll be splitting up from Aki. Before leaving, Denji takes a basket of apples, but leaves one for Aki. Aki, feeling sad, takes his sword and asks the cursed devil how many years he has left. The cursed devil tells him he has 2 years. Aki lights a cigarette, remembering Himino, and starts crying. Denji, having forgotten his manga, returns to find Aki crying. He understands why Aki is upset, having lost many people, including Himino. Denji wonders why he doesn't cry for her. He was sad when Pochita died, but doesn't feel the same for Himino. He wonders if he would cry if Power or Aki died, but doubts it. He thinks about Makima and wonders if he would feel sad if she died, but quickly dismisses these thoughts. Denji decides not to worry about serious things. After Denji and Power leave, Michiko and Yutaro visit Aki, introducing themselves as advisors sent by Makima. Meanwhile, Denji and Power meet Makima at a cemetery. She explains that the recent attack shows someone is after Denji. Denji wonders if Makima will train them, but she says she's too busy and introduces them to Kishibe, Himeno's master. Before revealing his name, Kishibe asks Denji and Power how they felt when their teammates died and if they want revenge. Denji and Power say they don't care much about it and aren't interested in revenge. Kishibe asks which side they're on, humans or devils. Denji says he's on the side that takes care of him, while Power says she follows whoever is winning. Kishibe is impressed and says they scored perfectly. He tells Makima to leave as the training is about to begin. He introduces himself as a devil hunter from Division 1 and insists they call him Master. Kishibe, a lover of booze, women, and killing devils, begins the training by hugging Denji and Power and snapping their necks. They're unable to move, but he explains that they can recover by drinking blood. After he gives them blood, they recover, and Denji wonders why Kishibe did that. Kishibe tells them that Makima wants him to train them because the gun devil is after Denji's heart, and she fears Denji might be too weak. Kishibe reveals he's trained humans before, but Makima forced him to train devils instead. He then explains his crazy idea. As the strongest devil hunter, he believes the devil that defeats him must be the strongest too, so he plans to keep hunting Denji and Power until they defeat him. Denji and Power think he's crazy, but when Kishibe attacks them, Power creates a blood hammer for Denji. However, Kishibe stabs Denji multiple times and cuts Power's throat. He notes that Denji is immortal, while Power is semi-immortal, and he aims to turn them into the best. At the hospital, Aki tries to call the Fox Devil, but it doesn't show up. Two men, Michiko and Yutaro, explain that he angered the Fox Devil by misusing its power. Yutaro also mentions that he can only summon the Cursed Devil a few more times. The men think Aki might want to quit, but Aki insists he can't, as the devil who killed his family is still out there. They leave, saying they'll return with some paperwork. A woman enters, surprising Aki. Meanwhile, Kishibe tells Denji and Power, who are badly hurt, that he's leaving and will meet them again tomorrow. Denji, lying on the ground, makes noises and drools. Power realizes his brain is messed up again, so she hits him to wake him up. Denji asks how many times he died that day, and Power guesses at least 20. They talk about their future, and Denji says he doesn't feel happy living like this. Power suggests running away, but Denji knows they will be hunted. He's frustrated by Kishibe's strength, but Power has an idea. They should outsmart him. Denji, wanting to be like the smart characters in manga, agrees to try it. The next day, Denji and Power put on glasses to look smarter and plan their attack. Power throws a blood spear at Kishibe, but he dodges it. She tries again by turning bottles of blood into spears above him, but he avoids them too. Denji jumps down to attack, but Kishibe kicks him down in a flash. He tells them they failed because Power used too much blood and got weak, and Denji didn't think ahead. Kishibe congratulates them for trying and ends the training. As Denji tries to get up, Kishibe throws a knife at his head, warning them not to trust the hunter. Aki is taken to a special place by Michiko and Yutaro, who explain that making a deal with a stronger devil can be very dangerous. They show him cells where devils are kept. Yutaro asks if the woman who visited Aki was his girlfriend. Aki explains that she's the sister of his teammate, Himeno. Yutaro asks if she heard Aki, but Aki reassures him that she didn't. She gave him letters from Himeno, asking him to read them. Aki reads that Himeno wondered how to make him quit. They then take him to a cell with the future devil, hoping Aki will make a deal with it. The future devil explains that two people made deals with him before, giving up parts of their life or senses. Aki enters the cell to meet the future devil. Aki goes into the cell of the future devil, who keeps saying the future rules, and wants Aki to say it too. Aki ignores him and says he's there to make a deal. The future devil wants to see Aki's future first. He tells Aki to put his head into a hole in his body. Aki is shocked, but does it anyway. After a moment, The future devil laughs and says that in exchange for his power, he wants to live in Aki's right eye. The devil also mentions that Aki's death is part of the future. Aki doesn't want to hear about his death, so he agrees to the deal right away. Meanwhile, Kishai beats Denji and Power again. He tells them they don't need to train every day anymore, just once a week. He warns them to stay calm and remember their strengths. Kishai explains their next job is to attack the Snake Devil Woman and Katana Man, and everyone in the new Division 4 will join. If they fail, the division will be shut down, and Denji and Power will be killed for real. Denji, though, says if that happens, he will spare Kishibe's life because he helped make him stronger. Later, Kishibe talks to Makima. She wants him to keep training Denji and Power. Kishibe says he's tired of training people because they always end up dying, and it makes him drink more. He admits he's starting to care about Denji and Power, even though he doesn't usually get attached. Kishibe asks if the public safety knew about the attacks on the divisions and questions Makima if she was aware of it. He says he doesn't care about her plans as long as they help humanity. Makima insists she wants to save as many people as possible, and if their mission succeeds, Division 4 will become public, giving them more freedom to save more people. Kishibe calls her a liar. Meanwhile, Katana Man and Akane Saitari are hiding out and talking. Akane warns the men that no matter where they go, they can't escape Makima. She says that Katana Man can be brought back to life if he dies, but the others need to be careful not to get bitten. Katana Man explains they have a secret weapon, a hidden army of zombies, created by people who couldn't pay their debts, left by his grandfather. Yutaro hears that Aki is going after the Gun Devil and questions if Aki really thinks he can defeat him, especially since Aki just lost to someone else. Yutaro shares that he also joined public safety because of his grudge with the Gun Devil, but he believes it's impossible to kill him. He finds Aki weak and gets annoyed, but Aki doesn't care about his opinion. Aki tells him to watch, and if he dies, Yutaro can laugh at him. After dropping Aki off at public safety, Yutaro throws a drink at his head and gives him some advice, warning him to be careful around the crazy people in the Special Division. Makima meets with the Yakuza boss who works with Katana Man. The boss explains that his group got involved with the dangerous Gun Devil because of Akane, and he shows her a picture of her. He tells her that they gave the Gun Devil 20,000 yen in exchange for weapons. Makima asks for a list of everyone in the group who has a deal with the Gun Devil, but also asks for names from other families. The boss worries this could lead to a gang war, but Makima isn't concerned. She threatens him with a bag full of human eyes, offering to help him if he cooperates. When one of his men tries to attack, he falls to his knees after Makima stares at him, and she tells him society doesn't need excuses. Later, the police and Special Division surround Katana Man's hideout. Aki and the others prepare to go in with no specific plan, just to act. Kishibe explains that the police will block entrances, while the Special Division will handle the terrorists. He warns that many of the Special Division members are non-humans, and if any escape, they could cause more damage. The team is introduced. Beam, a shark fiend, bursts through a wall excited to eat zombies. He can swim through surfaces and turn his head into a devil form. However, he gets confused and apologizes for biting a man, thinking he was a zombie. Galgali, the violence fiend, wears a gas mask that releases poison gas and must keep it on. During the fight, Galgali warns a woman to leave before she becomes a zombie, but she reveals herself to be Princey, the spider devil, who transforms and kills zombies. The angel devil, annoyed when a zombie head hits his shoe, picks it up and eats it. He drains the life force from anyone he touches. When a man tries to shoot Aki, the angel devil protects him, and Aki knocks the man out. Aki then sends the angel devil away with the man and tells Denji, Power, and Kobeni to let the fiends handle the zombies while they go after Katana Man and Akane. They decide to split up since they're not sure where the enemies are. Aki goes to the 4th floor and faces off with a man trying to shoot him. After knocking him out, Aki encounters more men, who suddenly collapse, bleeding from their noses. Aki finds Akane and asks her to come quietly, but she summons the snake devil to attack. The ghost devil appears and fights Aki, overpowering him. Aki uses the future devil's power to see the future and cuts off the ghost devil's arms, but it's still too strong. The ghost devil grabs Aki by the neck, and Akane orders it to choke him to death. The ghost devil lets go of Aki and offers him a cigarette. Aki takes it and notices a message written on it. Easy revenge. He puts it in his pocket and gets ready to face the ghost devil. As he stands up and takes his sword, he remembers what Himino told him, that the ghost devil can't see but can sense fear. Aki prepares to attack and cuts off the ghost devil's head, ending the fight. Akane is shocked by what just happened. Before she can call for the snake devil, Kobini puts a knife to her throat, but Aki stops Kobini, telling her not to kill Akane. Aki then asks Kobini why she stayed in public safety, and she answers that they'll be getting bonuses soon. Meanwhile, Denji and Power are in an elevator. Denji finds it gross when Power starts eating a zombie's arm. Power doesn't mind, saying that meat is meat, whether it's pork, beef, or human. Denji disagrees, but they both get ready for a fight. Denji reminds Power that their mission is to capture Katana Man, not eat him. When the elevator opens on the 7th floor, they find a group of zombies. Denji tells Power to stay quiet, but she ignores him, yells her name, and rushes to fight the zombies, thinking Denji is behind her. Denji, however, stays in the elevator and leaves Power to fight alone. On the 13th floor, Denji faces Katana Man and his 2 men. Katana Man wants to talk and tells Denji that they are willing to surrender depending on his attitude. He says that Denji killed his grandfather and friends, and they want revenge. Denji explains that they turned into zombies, so he had no choice. Katana Man doesn't believe him, but questions whether Denji feels guilty for killing them, even though they were once human. Denji insists he doesn't feel guilty. Katana Man then reveals that Akane changed him and replaced his heart with the Katana Devil's heart, which makes him struggle with guilt. He asks Denji to let them kill him, but Denji refuses. Annoyed, Katana Man transforms, and Denji prepares for the battle. Katana Man and Denji are locked in a fierce battle. They fight from building to building, flying off a rooftop and landing on a train. As they continue the fight on the moving train, Denji and Katana Man exchange blows, with Denji declaring he's fighting to protect the life he has now. After a brutal exchange, Katana Man manages to injure Denji and demands an apology for his grandfather's death. Denji refuses, saying he can still fight with the chainsaw on his head. As Katana Man prepares to strike again, Denji surprises him by using his right leg as a chainsaw, splitting Katana Man in 2. Denji mocks Katana Man, telling him he's just like him, and reveals he's not just a chainsaw devil but a beast that can't trust a hunter. Later, Denji leaves Katana Man tied up to the train and reflects on how Katana Man is the same as him. He mentions that he feels upset about killing Himino, as there's now one less pretty girl in the world. Denji then decides to hold a tournament where he and Aki will take turns kicking Katana Man in the balls until he screams. Aki, though, reminds Denji that their job is to capture Katana Man, not to take pleasure in his suffering. Denji doesn't care and jokes that if he wins, he'll get Katana Man's balls. Katana Man protests as they approach, but Denji and Aki begin their game, making light of Himino's death. Meanwhile, Makima reports on the recent terrorist attack, explaining that it was caused by Akane Sayatari, a former devil hunter who made a deal with the gun devil. Akane wanted the chainsaw devil's heart, and in exchange, she gave guns to the Yakuza. However, Akane's contract with the gun devil led to her death, likely a suicide brought on by the snake devil. The investigation uncovers a piece of gun devil's flesh, which starts moving toward the gun devil itself. Afterward, Aki, still troubled by the recent events, smokes a cigarette on his balcony. It's the same one he received from the ghost devil, and as he smokes it, he reflects on the chaos that has unfolded. Meanwhile, Denji has a dream about his childhood. He finds himself in an alley, facing a door he has seen in his dreams before, but always forgets. Behind the door, he hears Pochita's voice, urging him not to open it. A mysterious purple-haired woman, Reese, is seen walking toward a cafe. She wonders whether Denji would prefer to be a country mouse or a city mouse as she nears the cafe.